Martin. I just want to take a few minutes before we get started with the coaches and the staff and players for the day, just to welcome you back to Commonwealth Stadium as we begin to sort of get into the daily grind of the 2015-16 school year and the season, and an exciting time for our program and the university as we see some changes occurring before our eyes. Since we last met, I just wanted to take an opportunity to revisit in June accomplishments of a couple of our athletes that you may have noticed, but I wouldn't want to. I'd be remiss if I didn't mention Kendra Harrison and Des Bryant. They were crowned national champions in Eugene, Oregon at the National Outdoor Track and Field Championships, and really proud of them. They graduated and have moved on to their professional careers and have an opportunity to run in the Olympics and obviously internationally as we go forward, and we wish them all the best. Our women's track and field team finished second in the country in June. A great effort by Edric Floreal, our men's and women's track and field coach, and really proud of them and the way they represented the university. It was pretty cool atmosphere, great environment, and those two young ladies distinguished themselves in some very unique ways, and so I wish them all the best. Obviously, we've got a lot going on. I'll touch on just a couple, 2 or 3 areas, and then take some questions and clear the stage, which is what you want me to do anyway, so Coach Stoops can get up here and get going. But want to address just the building process that's going on in Commonwealth and the excitement that we are experiencing with that. I've had an opportunity to try and try and stay everybody's way. They certainly don't want me doing any construction work. That would be a disaster. But to walk around and just pay attention to what's going on day by day, and I try and go around every 5-6 days and just sort of see the progress that these guys are making, and they're working really hard. And so I wanted to take a moment to thank Russ Pear and our staff internally to UK, the physical plant people at the university, the folks at Skanska and Congleton Hacker. They're working diligently. There's upwards of 350, 400 people working on the job every day to get the stadium ready for September 5th. And I think what I would say, everybody's worried, yeah, you walk around, oh my word, we got a lot to do. Yeah, there's a lot to do. I've never been a part of a building project that didn't run right down to the wire, and every one of us is in this enterprise in terms of college athletics has been at those places where you're trying to get a facility ready for a certain moment, and you're literally dusting floors and polishing things up at the last minute. It's all hands on deck, and that's what it'll be. And everybody is working hard towards September 5th. We certainly know the timeline. The construction folks know the timeline. Our staff knows the timeline, and but that's exciting. I think people look at sometimes as a difficult thought process. I look at it as a great opportunity. Boy, it's a great chance for us to have a lot of fun and do some really special things together. And it's going to be great to open that thing on September 5th. It'll be a really neat moment for our football players, for our coaching staff. And then when you look just to the other side of the stadium and you see the training center with the steel going up and that facility being built the way and moving along, we hope obviously to have that thing under roof. Somebody's trying to reach you.
Gary, you're going to have to run with suits after this.
But to see that facility going up and just to know that we'll get that under roof by the winter and have an opportunity to continue to work on that and have that ready for next summer. The 2 additions to our football program will make a great difference in the things that we're able to do both on the field in terms of our players, and then the recruiting and things like that allows us to do off the field. So really excited about that. Those projects. It's all in is probably between $170 to $180 million investment in our football program, and just trying to give us the best opportunity to compete in the great conference that we're in. So it's a great time, and so I want to thank those guys for all their efforts. They're working tirelessly, and we'll do all we can to support that effort. And again, it'll be, we'll be ready to go on September 5th and have at it. So looking forward to the season. The other thing I would say is I just wanted to just take a minute or two and thank this coaching staff. Coach Stoops and the staff have been incredible in terms of their efforts in recruiting and the things they continue to do to represent our program, and I'm really, really proud of what they have done. Our players have had a really, really good offseason. I'm sure Coach will address that. I see them coming and going a little bit in different places, and they're over there doing their workouts and working hard. I really had a chance to see them as a group for the first time last night. We welcomed them all back to campus and saw some of the newcomers and the physical change in their bodies, the strength that obviously they've gained. It was impressive. And I told them that last night. I told them you can see the change. And I think sometimes when you're away from young people for a couple months and you don't see them in person day to day and day, you don't notice the change as dramatically as if you all of a sudden walk up on them after a while. And it was evident. And I told them that last night. When they walked in the room last night, there was a physical change on the looks of a bunch of those players. And so I told them those are the steps necessary to become a great football program and to obviously have the success that we want to have. So I told them I was proud of their efforts. We challenged them a little bit last spring in the academics. We challenged them for off the field and the way they conduct themselves and things that we do. And we challenged them to get ready for 8 home games in Commonwealth Stadium and an opportunity to continue to move forward with our football program. And by all accounts, everything that I've seen over the last 2 to 3 months, obviously from a little bit of not the close distance that Mark's in, I'm a little further removed from that. But from everything I've seen, they've given that kind of an effort, and they're incredibly well prepared to enter this summer camp in preparation for our football season in some of the best shapes they've ever been. So really, really excited about that and having an opportunity to watch that. So I want to thank the coaches and for what they've done. Corey Edmond has worked extremely hard with those guys in the weight room, and I'm really proud of what he has done in those efforts. I was talking to him last night. He said that they didn't have one player miss one workout over the summer. They said they all just kept coming, and the way they worked with them was, he said he was so impressed with their work ethic, and so I'm proud of them for that. Short of that, I'd just say in closing, in that respect, building is a process. As we listen to whatever's going on behind us, it's building is a process, whether it's a facility, whether it's a department, or whether it's a specific program. You build on the field, you build in the hallways, you build in your offices, whatever. You also build off the field, you build off on the field and off. And so I think that it is a process. And people, I hear coaches and I hear folks talk about the process all the time, and you got to stick to the process. And I don't even know what that means. I'm not sure, what that means, other than to say you just keep going. You don't stop. And sometimes it takes a little side turn, and sometimes it's straight ahead, and it's very, very defined and very easy. But I will say this coaching staff is absolutely building a program, and that's what we want. We want people at Kentucky that want to build a program and sustain it and keep it going for this university. So I think we've got a great set of head coaches, and I'm really, really proud to work with them. But this football staff is building a program, and that's what we want. And so we're excited about the progress they've made. So let me stop there. If there's some specific questions, I'm glad to answer them, and then I'll clear the stage, as they say.
Mitch, are you satisfied with the way the ticket sales have gone?
Yeah, I am. I mean, we're continuing to get better. We obviously had dipped down a couple of years back, and we're working our way back. And I think the transition in the stadium will be good for folks. They'll begin. It's not easy. I mean, I've done probably in my career 3 or 4 stadium renovations in different places. And anytime you do that and you have to change structures and seating bowls and things like that, it's hard. Those are not easy changes. Change is not unemotional. And so folks, obviously changes. Some folks say, okay, I'm willing. But what I found in over time is that if we want to move to where we want to go as a program, we have to continue to change, and we can't be stagnant. And so that change occurred in the way we structured our stadium, and that caused us to have to move some things around, renumber some things, and change some seats. And And that wasn't easy. And there were some people that sacrificed, and I'm thankful for those people that were sacrificial in the way they approached it. And there were some folks that clearly were not happy with having the changes in the way we did the seats. That's not going to be a perfect science, but at the end of the day, I think everybody's really going to enjoy it, and by and large, everybody's been terrific. And I think that the K-Fund staff and the ticket office staff worked really hard to make that change occur, and we've grown our season tickets, we've grown our student tickets. We're not done with those numbers yet. I haven't seen them lately, but they continue to grow them, and we've surpassed where we were last year, and moving to sort of some of the numbers that we used to see when we were in that 40,000 range. We're gaining ground on that and closing in on it, so I'm excited about that. The capacity of the stadium obviously is going to be in that 61,000 range, somewhere in that range as we get the final seat count, and all of those numbers will be in that range. So what we're hoping is it'll be a extremely, I won't say cozy, but it'll be a very be pretty cool in there. I think that you're going to see a lot of folks that look for, without being grammatically incorrect, more better seats. And so we're trying to get to that and create a situation where there's a really high quality number of seats that may be fewer seats, but everybody has a better experience. And so we're working diligently at that. I love the way the new field turned out. I think people will be excited about the look of the stadium when they get in there, Mark. So I'm pleased with where we are.
Mitch, what is the feedback you got from the university community as a whole about that Thursday night game and the logistical things you're going to have to do to make it?
I think, again, change is never easy. I think, I'd say 95% of the people are thrilled. There's probably 5% of the people are going, this is a great inconvenience. But overall, I think people are fired up. I mean, it is a wonderful opportunity to showcase your university. A Thursday night opportunity. I mean, you don't want to get in the habit of doing it. You don't want it to be, because Saturday's traditionally where you play college football. But every once in a while, that Thursday night game's a pretty cool deal. And this will be the first time we've had that opportunity at Kentucky to do that. And to have a Thursday night opportunity where we sort of showcase our campus and have people have an opportunity to move around and see different things and have the nation's eyes on us on a Thursday night is pretty special. So we're excited about it. We've got a great opponent in Auburn University coming in here to play us, and I think that it will be I hope it's one of the great memories in terms of just of things we help create for the university that we can do this year.
How important do you feel reaching a bowl game this season would be just for, in the sense of momentum for the program?
Well, I think obviously you want to reach a bowl game, and that's the goal every year is to get to postseason play. I don't think that's the goal in everything that we do. There's never a sport that we play at Kentucky. We don't want to get to postseason play. So bowl games are important, but I think that's a step. Where we want to get to is we want to compete for championships, but that's a logical step to get there. Is it imperative? No. We build programs. That's what we want to build. Building is a process, and I went back and used the word I don't like, but the reality of it is a step-by-step deal, and we're going to do that. I think that for you all have been around here, I've been here. This is year 14, and I know it shocks most of you that I'm still here, reflect back to my early years, it's you got to stay with it. You just keep going, and I think that if it's hard, building is really, really hard. I think everybody thinks it's really, really easy. And I was talking to one of the commissioners of another league. We were at a meeting, and I said I can remember back in the days when I first started. If you had a job, whether that was a head coaching job or an AD job, you had legitimately 4 to 6, 5 to 7 years to turn a program around and get it going. In today's world, with social media and all the pressures of what's going on, legitimately, whether it's at the pro level, the professional level, or at the college level, in today's world, especially in the high-profile sports, you have, in today's world, everybody's already impatient after 2, maybe 3. They might give you 3, You know, so everybody gets all fired up after 2 or 3 years, and I think that it's really hard to turn the clock back on that timetable in today's world. That having said that, I think we need to continue to try and do that, and sometimes circumstances indicate that you've got to do something different. But at the end of the day, with what this staff has done, they've worked so hard and they've done such a good job in the recruiting process, and they've set the table for the next few years, and they're continuing to work with all the things that we've got resource-wise out there. I'm really excited about the future with what they've done and how they've done it. The bowl game, yeah, we'd love to get to a bowl game. For these players, I'd like to get to the bowl game. I think that's really important for them to be rewarded for their hard work and the things that they've done. I would like to see them get to a bowl game. I think last year we got off to a great start. I think we had some injuries and some fatigue from depth that we just sort of ran out of gas at the end. And I think that some of those things have continued to get shored up, and we continue to gain more depth. And as long as we're stronger and physically can stay after it, I think we got a great opportunity to enjoy the bowl game in the postseason.
What's the measuring stick for success in year 3 for you then? How do you quantify whether or not this was a successful?
Yeah, I don't know I think everybody looks for a number, and I think that's not fair. That is fair. I mean, you can ask, but I'm not going to say, oh my gosh, if we don't get 5.5 wins, just see if you're paying attention. I'm not going to give. I think he just wants to make progress. You just want to make progress, and I think we all know what it feels like and what it looks like, and I think we've seen this group of players get better with this staff, and they're continuing the growth of the individuals, whether it's the growth that certain people by position, or if it's the growth of them off the field, or if it's the growth of our and the improvement of our recruiting. We just continue to see improvement, and that's what I like most, and so that's how I measure most of the coaches and the teams that we have in our department, and we just want to continue to make progress. And I think that these guys are doing it at a fairly rapid rate.
Do you think Mark feels a level of pressure when you commit? You said $180 million. When you commit those kind of funds to it, and you're unveiling it this season?
Yeah, I don't think there's anybody that is in this enterprise in terms of the things that we do athletically at an administrative level or at a coach's level that doesn't feel pressure to do the things that we want to do. I don't care whether that's, I so respect all of our head coaches. Some of them may not get the media accolades or media attention that our football and men's, women's basketball and other programs get, but they feel an incredible pressure to perform for Kentucky and for the fans and for the athletes and the university they represent. I don't think if you're in this thing and you have a heartbeat, you don't feel pressure. There's no one that wants to go home and go, gosh, I can put my head on the pillow tonight because I failed miserably and I feel okay with it. There's no one that wakes up and comes into this deal that doesn't feel pressure and wants to perform at a high level for the people that they work with, work for, and represent. So Mark is absolutely a competitive guy, and he wants to. There's not a moment I'm sure he's not thinking about what is the next thing that will help him become a champion.
In 2014
Birmingham, alluding to the stadium improvement that Missouri had on the drawing board, I asked Coach Finkel if they come to fruition, and he answered in a very profound way. I thought maybe it's somewhat of a stretch, but he said that if you pass by stadium, you don't see a crane, you're being left behind. What's your thoughts about that?
We've got enough cranes out there. I don't think cranes are the problem. We're good. So we should be fine, Lonnie. We're good. I think that you want to be careful in that you're not into. You've got to do what's best for your program, and I think, as I alluded to in the construction process over the last decade, there was a time when we knew we needed to do some things and we wanted to do some things, but we had to wait our turn at the university, and that's part of it. You are a part of a greater good, and there were things at this university that needed to be done, whether those were in the medical center, whether those were in the the housing of the residential life, some academic buildings. Those were all really, really important things at this university, and we needed to wait our turn. And so that was really important for us. And we did, and when it finally became our turn to have an opportunity to improve our program, we were fortunate enough to be able to do it. Now that's what we're doing. And so as you know, we've been waiting a while, and our football program has been waiting a while. And now you look out there and it's all happening, and it's pretty neat. And for us to be able to get to next summer and have this stadium complete and have a football training center that our guys can work out of is outstanding. So it's an exciting time for us. But obviously in departments you're always looking, you always have things that you're trying to improve and expand upon. And we've got a tennis center that's on the, design of a tennis center that's on the docket right now, and we've also got the design of a baseball stadium on the docket right now. So those are things, the next two steps for us, and that's really important, the ability to move football into their new building and then move our track and field and gymnastics programs into the old Nutter Football Center and use that facility efficiently for some of our students that will live on that side of campus and do their stuff on that side of campus will be really, really cool for us. So we're excited about that. And then, and I think that everybody, as a piece of the greater good, I don't want anybody to lose sight of the fact that we've also started our contributions to the university for the new science building that's going up. So, there's ways we're trying to help in a variety of things on campus. We've got the addition of the science building, and then we continue to fund the scholarships across campus for regular students on campus. So, there's different ways that I think we're contributing to the good of the university, at the same time doing the best we can for our student athletes, and I think that's important.
All right, thanks, Mitch, so much.
Sure, no problem.